made on the dyno at one time 1,100 horsepower. This is the size exhaust on your car. Welcome back to another episode of This Versus That.
This is like an entire 90s dream and nightmare for me.
This is absolute battle of the opposites. Import, domestic, front wheel, rear wheel. I mean, let's check
go
these
look
things
at
out.
it. What's up, dude? Who are you and what did you bring here today? My name is Robert Romero from Las Vegas, Nevada. I brought my 92 Acura Integra.
Honda purists will say, how can you do this to a GSR?
Before I had a different turbo kit on here, I used to have a JDM one-piece headlight on here. I had a big hole in it. I used to get it shit all the time.
This is also the fastest second-gen Integra in the world. And I also heard that back in the day, you pulled out the B17 A1 and you were boosting a B20 originally.
Yeah, we actually just put this motor together probably 2 days ago. It's got Tron pistons, BME rods, got a port flow, cylinder head.
Which trans? I see you got a billet bell housing.
Yeah, I got a Liberty billet bell housing and it's got a PPG 1 through 4th.
Nice.
Dang, okay.
Wait, so you got a stock fifth?
No fifth. cuff.
no fifth.
Lightweight, bud. So why the billet bell housing? Just straight.
To help it, keep it strong together. The gear set doesn't separate in there.
What turbo, what type of power?
It's a Gen 2 Precision 7285.
Sport front wheel drive size?
Sport front wheel drive, yeah. This whole car is set up for a sport front wheel drive class.
26.5 front tire?
We normally run a 24.5 front tire, but because of the surface here, we're going to run a 26 inch
26
tire.
and a half,
nice.
72 mil
We're hoping
turbo.
for a little bit more grab out there.
What are you
So
revving out to?
about 10.5, 11.
10.
What power?
What's the power?
It made on the dyno at one time 1,100 horsepower.
1,100 horsepower out of a
1,100
B18.
Yeah, we got the one-off custom Hush Performance front end on here
Hell
that
yeah.
nobody made one for this car, so we actually had to innovate a little bit and get people on board with us to make parts for this car. So this is what we ended up getting, the three-piece.
So
And this is an OE color too. This is
Yeah,
an
OE
Aztec
color,
Emerald
yes,
Green, huh?
yes, it
Oh,
is.
dude, I love
So
that
this
too.
car was built for sport front wheel drive,
Yes,
right?
it was.
So that means 72 mil turbo, 26 and a half inch tall tire, but interior, right? Like front half
it would have to
interior
have a
has
front
be
half
there.
interior, carpet, door panels. It
So-
still maintains the original glass all the way around with the moonroof.
What does this thing weigh?
2,450 pounds with me in it.
Ooh, that power to weight ratio.
Yes, definitely.
Holy crap.
We have the rear end kicked back a little bit, so we get some more. So we can stretch legs a little
Oh,
bit on
so
it.
you stretched out the wheelbase a little bit,
so
right?
we have
Okay.
the Z-Flow Fab
Oh,
arms
wow.
on the rear.
Damn, you don't notice it at first, but then you look at that bumper
Right.
and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's tucking way back here,
Yeah.
but you got all this gap way up front.
Got the
Sick.
classic
Yeah.
speed holes in the
I
back.
know.
Yeah, we got the
I
bunch
know,
of those.
right?
Actually really
Yeah,
useful.
where yours
And you know
at?
what? Those been on there since way back when I bought this car.
How long
you know?
you had this car?
I've had this car for over 10 years. I bought it for $500. I did a lot of street stuff with it, and then just started progressing the build on it.
Do you want to
throughout
talk
the years.
about best ET or best 60 foot or any of that?
So we're 863 at 174 in the quarter mile.
What type of 60 foot does this thing do?
1.5 60 foots normally.
1.5
so,
front wheel drive
60,
car.
yes.
This thing sounds pretty insane,
Okay.
but that looks
Yes.
pretty damn mean
Yes.
too.
That's the guy we were running from most of the time. So.
This episode is brought to you by HP Tuners. They make all sorts of tuning, data logging, diagnostics tools. They even have mobile apps for tracking drag and lap times. Also, check out their Instagram or hit the link below to see what's available.
How are you, sir?
Good, good.
So
are you
good to
and what'd
see
you
you.
bring
So
here?
good to see you.
Scott Graham, I brought my 1967 Plymouth Barracuda down here.
Tell us where you're from, Scott, really quick, like your organization.
I started LASD Motorsports 25 years ago. It was an outreach program for youth, stay out of drugs, gangs, anti-street racing. you know, things like that.
And you're a 31-year veteran of the so thank you for
Yes.
your service.
Well,
Greatly
thank you.
appreciate everything you've done, but we're here to talk about this thing. And majority door slammer, steel-bodied 67.
What's under the hood? We
Yeah,
gotta
gotta
take
take
a
a
peek
we gotta
under
take a
what's
look
here.
under
We can
this
help
thing.
you out.
So this is a one-off carbon fiber hood because
Yeah,
nobody
this
makes
thing is
anything for Cudas. So
What
this,
are we looking at
This
here?
is a factory 71 iron block 440 with Edelbrock intake heads, got Ross pistons, scout rods and crank in it. It's got a nitrous system on it. BJ's Race Cars, who did a lot of the work for me, made these headers because we needed ground clearance, but we wanted long tube for
These
the
are
Chrysler.
crazy.
That looks really
What
cool.
size primary is this? Like 2 1/4?
2 1/4.
Holy
2 1/4
shit.
primaries, man. Oh my
Ned,
God.
this is the size exhaust on your car.
The single one, yeah.
Don't point it out. And what's crazy is this is the mild motor.
This is the back. This is the show motor.
You had a hotter motor, the 440, that was punched out to like 13.5 to 1 compression
Yes,
ratio, right?
that one needs a little bit of work right now.
Okay.
So we put the backup motor in. It's a 13 to 1 motor also. It's got
Okay.
ISKI cams and, you know, roller lifters and all that kind of stuff in it. And we have a 200 shot on it for today.
This is carburetor, right? It's a
Single
Dominator
Yeah,
4500.
you guys were talking about all kinds of stuff that I don't understand over there.
All right, wait. You
Be
want, just to
this,
put that
be
in
that.
perspective, this is a Dominator, but it's got a wood spacer.
I know.
So before the days of phenolic, you had wood to keep that carburetor clean.
Handcrafted.
What does this car weigh?
This car weighs 3,010 pounds with me in it.
And this was factory before.
This was all factory,
And
but
why-
I had a
why
little
is it-
accident.
Glass.
Exactly.
Little
So now-
accident, and I had to replace it with fiberglass.
What horsepower is this thing made?
Oh, it put 635 to the rear wheels.
What's your best ET on this?
With this combination, 9 flat.
What are you
So-
running for a trans?
It's a ProTrans Torque Flight 3-speed.
And you got some big meats out and back.
Yeah,
What
look
are
at
you
those
running?
Actually,
tires,
they're
man.
just a little bit bigger than
They're
his
just- they're
tire. These
20
are 2910 5s.
29, 10, 5.
And my favorite part
ET
about this wheel
streets?
setup, they're BBSs.
Yo, I was
I know,
just looking
I
at
know,
that.
right?
Those are
I know.
Look at
BBSs.
the stamping right there.
I know, you guys. It's like
Dude, I was tripping
We
on
gotta
that
look-
right now. That's a nice little subtle
Those
flex.
have to be pretty rare though.
They are very rare.
Yeah.
There's about 8 sets of these in the United States.
Jesus.
Wow.
And I have 3 sets of them.
Oh my.
And look at the dash.
It's a factory dash. I took the factory radio out though,
Right,
just to save some weight.
So what's you have an AEM dash, but it's not.
It's data acquisition.
So are you on the bottle today?
It depends how the surface is out here.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
I'm hoping to be because, man, listen to the Integra over there. That sounds pretty mean.
Let's go race it. So you got options. Generally, we start from a dig. If we want to negotiate a roll later on, you can. There's 500 foot, 1,000, and 1,500. So you guys could negotiate whatever you want. It's hand drop, so it could be jumps,
Jump,
car
car
lengths, whatever you
lengths.
want.
Definitely gonna do 1,000 foot.
Yeah, 1,000
and we
foot.
kind of just gonna do the heads up race first, right?
Yeah,
Heads up,
definitely,
look at
definitely good
this,
first
man.
bet.
Yeah, we kind of got to feel each other out, see where we both
Yeah,
are at the end
It's
of the
always
day.
a good tester.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do it. So I'm a OG front wheel drive nerd, and 1,100 horsepower and like 2,400 pounds, I'm gonna go with the Integra.
Look, man, you know me. I'm a JDM boy at heart, and this thing, it revs out. It's got a turbo. For me, Integra time.
I've never seen either one of these cars. I don't know any specs on them, but I'm just gonna stick with my V8 roots and go V8 for now.
I don't know, like I'm not really a Honda guy, but I think I gotta give it to the Honda this time.
I'm gonna go on traction alone, thinking that rear wheel drive is gonna hook better than front wheel drive. I think the cop car's got it.
I just want to make sure that Sergeant Scott Graham still doesn't have access to the LASD database, because if so, I'm so rooting for him, but if not, I got to go with my Integra. Dude, you know when this thing gets on any leg, those horses are gonna take right off. It's gonna be a bad time. Let me get that one more time.
You gotta get it from the bottom.
No, do not. I don't have shoes on. I don't have shoes on.
You crazy son of a bitch, you did.
Dude, that thing is gripped up. Holy shit. So much more than I thought. Oh, got the lights on. Okay, so as we said, this first race, 1,000 feet, heads up. Yeah.
600 horsepower.
That was nowhere close to 600
Straight up, I was like, yo,
horsepower.
he gave us a different number last time.
Yep.
He lies.
Old age and treachery will always win out. So that looked like a good launch on both sides. Man, that Cuda dug. But like about 500 foot mark, they had some kind of issue. So we're gonna find out what's going on. Was there something on the midway through at the
Yeah,
top
about
end you
third
started
gear,
to break up?
just fell out of on its own, so I just kind of let out of it coasting.
You gotta let this thing warm up a little more.
A little bit. We usually try to run it about 140, and the temperature was still right barely 100, so it wasn't two-step. And you'll hear the two-step; it'll pop a lot more. It wasn't funny to pop. We just talked to Sky. We negotiated that I'm gonna get the hit in this next pass.
All right, so we're gonna line them up again. It's gonna be Cuda versus Integra. Cuda goes off of Integra's hit. Cuda by 3 cars. Damn.
Yo, but I thought the Cuda was gonna dig on him every time, but that Integra launches, man.
Bad boys, bad boys.
You know how we know you used to be a street racer?
Yeah.
Because you're a bullshitter. That did not make 600 horsepower. What? No chance.
He didn't say which run it made the 600 on.
It made 600 in 1994.
I have the right to remain silent.
You know how to launch a car,
Dude,
man.
I gotta say, this thing comes out of the hole like crazy.
Thank you.
That was solid.
We got a little better tune-up in it, but we're having issues. You come around and see here. Major boost
Oh
leak here.
no! Man, you getting played by an O-ring.
You held it down for the
Okay,
Honda
thanks,
boys,
man.
man.
Thanks. I
I'm so
tried,
proud.
man. I wish we got the W, but hey.
Assume the position. Assume the position.
It's all too much. It's all too much.
Get over here. Get over here.
Talk about this tire pressure up front real quick.
Yo, I told you, that's straight. You ask what pressure that is, that's atmosphere.
Probably less, actually.